Hello, everybody. This is Marty Brill here. It is Friday, finally. Friday the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. We still have stuff to talk about. We've made it through the whole winter and still have really notable things to talk about. And I'll be back to do that in just a moment.
Real. That's the first word that comes to mind when I think about Outland Seafood in Mans Harbor. Yeah, they're the first and last place you see coming to and leaving the Outer Banks on Highway 64 in Dare County, but they're also real when it comes to fresh local seafood. Troy Outland, real. Curtis and Josh, real. The indoor crab shedders, real. Stop by and see for yourself right next to White Shopping Center and check them out on social media. Outland Seafood in Mans Harbor, real.
Scrambling around to different stores, in and out of the car multiple times to make sure you have everything you need for the beach, that can be such a hassle. But not with the Breeze Through in Avon. Breeze Through is your one stop for gas, beer, drinks, ice, sandwiches, snacks, coffee, sunscreen, and the best part? You don't even have to get out of your vehicle. That's right, just sit tight. Breeze Through will bring everything you need right to your car. Looking for a keg for a special event or gathering? Breeze Through is the only store on Hatteras Island who sells them. Breeze Through Avon, Milepost 55, and online at breezethroughobx.com.
We really thank you for joining us here on the podcast. We do fishing reports, and we also do our fishing stories from my experiences off Oregon Inlet. All that stuff is a lot of fun. I'm really grateful to One Boat Inc. in Manio for helping me continue on what I've been doing for a lot of years now, is talking about fishing. I made a couple phone calls last night, and it was really rough yesterday. I couldn't find anybody that went in the ocean offshore yesterday, but the day before, I found some boats that did, and it was really good. I talked to Andy Pyland on the Good Times down out of Hatteras, out of Odenstock, and he has really been actively bluefin tuna fishing down there. And he had, I think what he told me was they had 27 bluefin tuna from 60 pounds to up and over 70 inches, I think it was. These are a wide variety of size ranges on the bluefin tuna. And that recreational season for the time being is still open. You can keep one there. They let a lot of them go. It's just a huge challenge and great fishing. I do appreciate Andy many times sharing what he can with us and the action they have on the Good Times. And then I also talk a lot up the other way, up to Oregon. And I talked to Captain Dickie Harris, my old friend that fished with me for years, or I guess I should say I fished with him for years down at Oregon Inlet at the fishing center. And Dickie keeps a tab on what's going on offshore and goes out himself this time of year as well on his boat, which is the Fantastic. That used to belong to Omi Tillett built it. It's one of the classic Omi Tillett boats. And anyway, he's right down there, and there have been some really big ones up at Oregon Inlet in the bluefin tuna range. And what's a little bit different, over the past 10 days or so, we've had some big ones caught very close to the beach. And when I say very close, I mean just outside the sea buoy. One day last week, there was a 650-pounder caught, but it sounds like most of them have gone back out along the edge of the continental shelf. But there's some big fish up and over 500 pounds in the bluefin tuna categories. So there's some world-class fishing going on. The only thing is, it's pretty much the only game in town offshore. This time of year, there's been a few, Dickie was telling me there's been a few yellowfins caught in with those bluefins. The yellowfins would be much smaller, but in my mind, really much better eating. That's just my personal preference. Although the big money comes for those bluefin tunas and an overseas. It's not really even so much of an overseas market anymore, but Philadelphia, New York, up through that area, a lot of these fish do stay in the United States when they are caught commercially and sold on our United States market, not having to ride that plane trip all the way to Japan. And there's plenty of bluefins making it to Japan, but they come from other fisheries around the world. All right, so that's about all we have offshore. Along the beaches, again, back talking to Andy, Captain Andy, he was just telling me the drum bite has slowed down a little bit. There was a pretty good puppy drum bite, and at times really good puppy drum bite last week, but that slowed down a little bit. And but there's still something to be caught. You can get down on the beach, which this time of year you're going to see the locals. A lot of these offshore charter boat captains, this is their time to go fishing. And they get a pretty day right now. You go down there with the right bait or the right artificial lure, and you're going to catch a slot-sized puppy drum. There are still a few sea mullet to be caught. And when I was talking to Kara Eeks down there at Red Drum Tackle, one of my sponsors, who I'm very grateful for, she was telling me some of those sea mullet were big enough to fillet. So that's a good class of sea mullet. Now, it's going to be a little bit hit or miss this time of year. Stop in. Your local tackle shops are open, and they'll have the best bait that you can use, the freshest. Even this time of year, whatever is available is going to be better at a local tackle shop like Red Drum Tackle than it's going to be at a big box store where it's a frozen block of bait, which you're going to shoot yourself in the foot before you even get started. So keep all that in mind, and we'll take a little break. I'll be right back, and I'll talk to you about what's happening in the backcountry.
Teachers Lair Marina in Hatteras Village is the closest spot on the Outer Banks to the Gulf Stream. Just inside Hatteras Inlet, Teachers Lair is fully loaded with bait, tackle, ice, snacks, and drinks for your fun-filled day out on the water. Want to get rigged up to catch the big one? Lee and the gang in the tackle shop can outfit you to catch whatever is eager to get hooked. To see the marina, the tackle shop, or to book a charter, go online to teacheslair.com. Teachers Lair Marina in Hatteras Village. Your fishing venture awaits.
So as for the backcountry, man, we have been busy all through last summer, all through the fall, right up to the first of the year. Just one of the best speckled trout years I can ever remember. And that's not even talking about the puppy drum and things that were earlier in the summer. Of course, we had the Cold Stun event. We lost a lot of fish. I'm not here to say how many tons, how many fish, how big the area was. But I know one thing, those are all fish that aren't going to be caught next summer. So they'll rebound. They always do. And but I don't have much to report as far without that event. And if the season was still open, we'd still be talking about speckled trout bite. Our buddy Ricky Radcliffe over at Radcliffe Marine in Belhaven, he fishes year round, and he'll go to spots sometimes up those back creeks and estuaries, and he'll pick out a fish all winter long. So the problem is the season on speckled trout is closed right now. So you have to keep that in mind. You don't want to have any of those on board your boat for now. Other than that, I had talked earlier in the week about the crappie fishing. That is a very covert fishery. People do not share with me that information, which I respect much of it. Anyway, they'll give me some generalities, and the generalities are it's time to get your gear, your minnows, your crankbait, whatever you're going to use, and go look for these for the crappie. In the north, they say crappie. In the south, we say crappie, just like we say pecan. When on the north, they say pecan. Anyway, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. But that's really the only game I have heard anything about inshore. And so we won't waste up your airtime here. But as we go into the weekend, I was really enjoying a visit I had yesterday with Captain Mark Mitchum on the Jody K. The Jody K out of Wanchese is a boat that does the waterman charters where they take your family out to go crabbing, pull crab pots, or when the shrimp are running, they'll pull a big shrimp net. 6 people, 2 and 3 hour trips, perfect for kids and family groups. Mark was just telling me how much he loves to see a couple come down with 3 or 4 children from 6 to 12 years old is the ideal charter, and they are thrilled by doing the job of a working waterman. And we have a lot of boats that are doing that. It's the fastest growing part of our charter industry. It's affordable. They're short trips, and most of the time in calm water, almost all the time, really. It's called a waterman's charter, and you can book through any of the major marinas. Be sure, in fact, I recommend working through the major marinas, or you can, you can find good, reputable businesses online as well. So maybe you'll consider that. My point, the reason I bring that up is this is the time to start putting together your trips. These guys get really busy, and what I understand, the morning trips are what you want. So go ahead and look into it. If I can help with that, let me know. But that is our fish report for today as we head into the weekend. Again, happy Valentine's Day. And yes, I do like chocolate, and I hope you have a blessed day.